lingo that young Scooter came up with that people probably don't even give him. If you really tapped in. So again, I always bring up live mixtape and just the whole mixtape series. Or if you was a diehard Future fan before Future really became Future, it was like Future and Young Scooter, like dog, man. And I guess and I did see a conversation, and of course, only sometimes it's like certain things that only black women can kind of call out, and you kind of gotta respect it because it was just like. Nobody know the real story, and of course I'm gonna play clips of the police or whatever giving up the story. But I seen a girl post on Twitter, and she was just like, "It's crazy that this Scooter was turning 39 years old, and he was still running from the police like a YN." And it kind of made me think of it, and I thought about it. I'm like, "Damn, like dog, you don't want to be damn near 40 running from the police." And again, like I said, nobody don't know what the real story is or what was going on in that house that made him run. Like that could have been a trap house. Nobody don't know the story because it seemed like everybody kind of like trying to play it clueless or trying to sit here and like not try to indulge too much about. So who really knows what happened? So it's kind of like even when the police when they talking about it, it just seemed like. I'm gonna play the clip. And it just seemed crazy. Like it seemed like almost like of course, I don't think Scooter is big enough of an artist for them to sit here and be like they try to pull a conspiracy theory on him or whatever the case may be. But it just sounds absolutely insane. And I do realistically, I do want to sit here and say before I play these clips, because I'm not making it seem like you cannot die from a leg injury. Because again, rest in peace to Sean Taylor. That's what happened to him. He got shot in his leg. It is arteries in your leg. If it bleed out enough, you can pass away from that. So no, I'm not making it seem like it cannot happen, but it's just so crazy to be like, damn, they kind of like you do got a point where it's like, and that go back to the money thing. It's like, what play you feel like you had to bust on your birthday? And I'm sure most people you may be listening to, you be like, well, I work on my birthday, so what's the difference? It kind of is not no difference, but it's still like, damn, I don't want to be running from the police at damn near 40. Like that just kind of like you can't.
Did they say what he was running from? I mean. Because you could be like child support, shit like, you know what I'm saying? Like
running? No, literally running, like physically running, hopping fences, like you, like on a.
Oh, they was chasing him.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant running like
in a car. No, physically running, like actually hopping gates, and that's what they basically say. His leg got caught on a gate.
Oh, they didn't shoot him.
No.
Oh, he got caught on the gate and bled out.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I'm gonna play these clips and then we can talk about it.
Possibly fracturing or breaking his femur, which orthopedic surgeon Dr. Craig Weil says isn't impossible.
Well, the femoral artery is quite large, and it could, if you broke your femur and it broke badly enough, the ends of the femur fracture could be sharp enough to cut the artery.
As for the fall,
it'd have to be a very hard fall.
Something you don't often see.
No, you don't. It's a relatively rare injury to have a femoral artery death. It's only about 10 to 15% of traumas, so it's not very high.
The Fulton County Medical Examiner says right now the cause and manner of death for young Scooter is listed as undetermined. Of course, an autopsy is planned if it's not already been conducted. Now, the GBI is investigating this in-custody death, Angelina, and of course, the autopsy results will hinge a lot on how they rule this investigation.
So when they say in custody, did they have him locked up? Like, was he in head?
No, I'm gonna play the clip of the police officer when the police officer breaking down what happened. But that right there was just a doctor just weighing in because of course people hearing it and nobody kind of wanting to believe how he just because of course for people who didn't see the story when it originally broke. So of course when it originally broke, it was the headlines was basically the police. They were basically saying the police shot him and he died from a police shooting.
Yeah, okay.
So that's how they basically seemed like he got into a shootout with the police. That's how the story originally presented. Like when it first hit the internet, the only one that kind of reported it with some type of decency was probably Realistically, and that's why sometimes you got to judge where some of these platforms are bigger than others ones. Like the Shade Room had a little bit more where they kind of just said allegedly it was a shootout or whatever the case may be. But realistically, from the way the police trying to sit here and say Cheese just reported young Scooter has passed on his birthday, whatever the case may be, rest in peace and happy birthday. And they didn't play no clips or, you know what I'm saying? They didn't say nothing or whatever the case may be. So then, of course, the police come right out because I'm sure even them, you talking about they chasing somebody and they're running from the police. So even when that conversation originally come out, it probably made them seem like, oh, they probably just thought it was just a regular dude, but then you come to find out, oh, this person kind of is some type of celebrity. So the police came out and cleared it up like ASAP. Like it didn't take took like an hour, if that long. Like they cleared their name. Like the police made sure they came out and said whatever they had to say. So I'm gonna play this clip of the police officer.
From the 200 block of William Nye Drive in Zone 3, officers responded to a dispute with a weapon. It was advised in the call remarks that shots were fired and a female was dragged back into the location. Once officers arrived, they knocked on the door. A male opened the door and immediately shut the door on the officers. The officers then established a perimeter. During the process of establishing the perimeter, 2 males fled out of the rear of the house. 1 male returned back into the house. The other male jumped 2 fences as he was fleeing. When officers located him on the other side of the fence, he appeared to have suffered an injury to his leg. Officers rendered aid, and he was transported to Grady Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. That male is going to be a 39-year-old male out of Atlanta. Just to be very clear, the injury that was sustained was not via the officers on scene. It was when the male was fleeing. The second incident happened at Lucky Street and Mill Street. This call came up around 6:35 p.m. Where we had a group of individuals standing on a sidewalk. Our victim in this case approached the males. Some words were exchanged, which led to gunfire. The male that was shot is a 42-year-old male out of Charlotte, North Carolina. That male was transported to Grady ICU. These 2 incidents are not related in any shape or form, and that's what we have for you.
Can we confirm that it's a known rapper that goes by the name of Young Scooter, the 39-year-old male?
We cannot at this point. That's a function of the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office once they notify the next of kin. So that we were premature.
So that's how fast they came out and made this.
You guys sent out a release originally saying that the man was deceased. He was not deceased?
Correct. Grady was able to bring him back in the trauma room, where he was taken to the operating room and is now in ICU.
So what was the discussion? What led to the 39-year-old having to flee from the police? Can you give us a little bit more detail? Because it just seems, what exactly led to him running away?
So, again, there was a 911 call of dispute with shots fired and a female being drugged back into the residence. When officers arrived, a male initially opened the door, closed the door on the officer's face without communicating completely. That's when the officers established a perimeter and the 2 males fled. Why they fled, obviously, we can't speak for them. So it's still an active investigation.
Was the woman injured at all?
So we were not able to locate a female. We ended up with 2 males and the decedent.
Was the, and you said the dispute started in a car, a moving car?
No, outside of the residence.
Outside of the residence, and then a woman was drugged back into the...
That's what was reported. We have not been able to substantiate any of that, which is also a part of our investigation.
And then when he jumped over the fence from one victim, what wound would, I guess, did he shoot himself?
No, there was no indication of anyone being shot. This appears that there was, when he fell, some type of fracture injuries to the leg, which caused the bleeding.
And to clarify, this wasn't any involvement with the Atlanta police as far as shooting?
Correct. There's no, in neither one of these cases were officers involved in shooting at all.
Will your agency be investigating everything internally, or do you guys...
So we do have, just because of the confusion, we have the GBI that's going to come out.
So again, like I said, that's the police officer. I mean, that's him giving his story. And then the crazy thing is like, damn, they didn't even y'all didn't go in the house. I mean, and maybe they did. I don't necessarily know, because it's like nobody ain't go in the house and figure out what was going on in the house. Like what was in that house that made them run? Because if you sitting here saying if he ran and hopped 2 fences, it's like, all right, so when he finally fell to the ground and couldn't move no more, when y'all caught him, did he throw something? Like, or did he still have something on his person? So it kind of make you seem like, damn, was this like they was at a trap house with the police kind of dirty, and the police, like that to me just seemed too crazy, because it's like, okay, they ran from a house. You sitting here saying they ran from a house. What was in the house? Because if you say you caught both people, so okay, then cool. So did he take something out the house, like, and it was just like, all right, so just to me, it just seemed crazy. Like, I mean, I'm not sitting here saying like, okay, even if you had, let's just sit here and say it was one brick in it. Like, okay, so cool, he take one brick and then did he stash the brick? Like somebody, like something to me just seemed like it's too much left out of this story. So you see, saying whoever made the original call, call 911, like, hey, it's a woman getting dragged inside the house or whatever the case may be. Then it ain't no woman there. So did y'all go in the house? So if you went in the house, because if somebody run from out of the house, that means it had to be something in the house or they was trying to stash something. Where's any of that stuff at? So those are the things where it just kind of seemed, man, it seemed tricky. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Again, like I said, rest in peace to Young Scooter. Young Scooter, again, like he was one of the pioneers to injure. I mean, to kind of like right after that Jeezy Gucci era, to kind of usher in that new Atlanta, just street lingo and just rapping that trap stuff. Like really, like right before Rich Homie and Amigos and Young Thug and all of them, it was that Young Scooter future wave. And again, like I said, Young Scooter just like, he was one of them like he literally made probably everybody who ever heard his song Columbia Google what a Metroton was, because it was just like, what is it? I can move cocaine, something, even the whole thing. And then it just in that joint, he just randomly say, I can move a Metroton. I know for a fact everybody Googled to see how much is a Metroton, because it was just like, huh? Like it just like his street talk was so elaborate and so crazy, and then just even Black Migo, a Black Migo. I remember originally when the Migos came out, like he kind of had some smoke for the Migos. Like I remember that era, because that's like Twitter was Twitter, and he kind of just like said whatever the case may be, where at one point in time he kind of felt some type of way because they came called the Migos, and I think Gucci kind of like played the middleman in between that and pieced it up, because like one of the first songs that the Migos kind of had that started to make some noise, like Via World Star at that time, like right after Versace. Like they had Versace, and Versace was kind of bubbling. They had Bando, and that was kind of bubbling. And then they had a song. It was called Homes. It was Gucci Mane, Young Scooter, and Amigos. Again, like I said, rest in peace to Young Scooter. It's just crazy. Like, bro, I just don't want to be 39, 40, running from the police. Like at some time, at some point of your age, I don't care, even if you are just a full-fledged trapper. Like, bro, you gotta at some point you gotta be to the point where it's like, I'm just going, if the police gonna come and get me, they just gonna come and get me. I'm not trying to be running from the police and damn near pushing 40, dog. Like you just kind of get, like you should be to that level of the streets where it's like, you shouldn't still have to run from the police. Like that, to me, that's the part that's kind of just like, what was going on in that house that made you say, I gotta run from the police at 39 years old? It's your birthday, dog. Like it's your birthday like you should be out, like, you should be getting some chicks. You should be out at a nice restaurant, going shopping or something. Like you 39, busting plays on your birthday. That to me is like, you can't make that sit right in my brain to make you like, damn, that's okay. Like I said, I get it. I understand if you're a regular working class person and you got to go to work on your birthday, cool. You work a 9 to 5. But whatever Scooter was doing that you got to run from the police on your birthday at 39 years old, we talking about you almost 40. Bro, you got to sit here and reevaluate how much you really still indulging into the streets, because that's something like you're supposed to be doing like 19, 18, maybe in your 20s. Like this was your 21st birthday. I get it. Not your 39th, though. Again, like I said, rest in peace to Young Scooter. And it's just so crazy because you kind of even if you really paid attention to like high school basketball and you follow any of those pages, like even if you follow any of those pages, that be like people be doing like the voiceovers for some of the high school kids, or like any of those big AAU pages, like you'll always see Young Scooter in the comments, like bigging up some of the kids, putting people, like he even post some of the kids, because his kids was, I want to say, maybe was it both of his sons? I know one of his sons for sure was really into basketball, like heavy, and like at one point in time, like all Young Scooter pages, at one point in time, his page was literally just his son basketball highlights. Like he was using his platform to really even promote his son. So that's kind of rough. Like I can only imagine, like, I mean, he was a dad. Like he was real live, really in his kid's life, like at the games. And like I said, he was really on those Instagram pages with the basketball highlights, like real live, really tapped in with the people who was running those pages and kind of even tagging kids and kind of getting people hip to certain young kids, was like kind of making a name for themselves in the AAU. So you can kind of see that at one point in time, it seemed like, all right, maybe he fell off from the rap stuff. Like he really ain't pursuing rap like that. Huh?
What happened to him career-wise?
I think he just stopped putting out music. I think sometimes, just for some rappers, you can kind of tell they really not 100% into rapping.
Oh, bro.
Like even Future Brother Casino, like some rappers, like you can tell, like it's a difference between like when a rapper still actually trying to be a rapper, and then you can kind of tell like somebody just like, all right, I'm bored, I'm gonna go to the studio and put out a project. Like, and that's like that was the energy of the Young Scooter give out. Like Young Scooter, one of them type of people where it's like, all right, dog, I'm bored. I got some free time on my hand. Let me go put a mixtape out. Like he had a song I want to say was last year, and the joint was him and Future. And Future went crazy on his verse on that Young Scooter joint. What was the name of that song that he put out? I want to say it's called Harder. It was from. Yeah, it was called Hard to Handle, and Future went so crazy on that verse, and then he had like even had one of Lucci's bigger verses. It was Lucci and Meek Mills, the joint called Hustling, and that joint came out in like 2017. So like he still randomly like would put out music, and he would randomly still be like on like when Future putting out like just a mixtape project, he'll randomly be like on a Future joint or something the case may be. But it was just like you could just tell he one of them people that never really was geeking to pursue rapping like to the level where I don't think he ever really wanted it to be like a famous rapper. Like he had a big song, and then he kind of never tried to get another big song. Like you never seen him really like, and you know the difference between when a rapper trying to get a big song and then a rapper who just be like, I'm in the studio, it's cool, it's whatever the case may be, I'll be on whoever junk. Like I said, he always will randomly be on a Future project. So again, like I said, rest in peace to Young Scooter.